Let's be real. In today's world, being frugal and sensible with money matters is pretty necessary if you want to make sure you're not going broke in the next few decades. This, though, is always easier said than done. Tip 1. Frugality doesn't mean cheapness. For some reason, many people have the idea that living a frugal, economical life is the same thing as being cheap, which is understandable. Lots of people tend to practice a blend of both. But they're definitely not the same thing, and while cheapness is pretty uncool, frugality is actually quite beneficial in more ways than one. The biggest of which is being financially fulfilled while being able to spend on things you love. Let's get into telling you some frugal living habits anyone could follow if they tried. Tip 2. Get the most value you can. When it comes to living a low-budget life, it is important to get the most value out of the money you spend, whether it be every dollar, pound, or whatever currency you use. Now, don't be mistaken. This doesn't mean you should spend every dollar on the most extravagant products of your liking. No, by getting the most value out of every dollar, we mean you need to do research before making a purchase and compare prices from different sources, companies, etc. before you complete your purchase. Researching things such as the brand of the product you're buying compared to its cost gives you an insight to the kind of deal you're about to bag. And you'll almost always make the best choice if you take out the time to do so. This doesn't just apply to costly purchases. Doing your research delivers the value for your money, no matter it be at the grocery store, at your local shopping mall, enjoying a night out with your friends, ordering takeaway, and much more. Using things like coupons, vouchers, cashback mobile apps, or even a rewards card will also help you spend less and save more on such purchases. So be on the lookout for those wherever they're available. Tip 3. Buy smart, not cheap. Like we said earlier, the preconceived notion about frugal people is that they find the cheapest things and stick to them. This is wildly untrue. Frugal people are anything but cheap. In fact, they're way smarter with their money than the average person. You'll never catch a frugal person buying a bad quality product, no matter how budget-friendly it is. Let us put it into perspective. A frugal person wouldn't spend $10 on a shirt that had become worn down within a month. Instead, they'd spend $50 on a shirt that'd last them a year or more. This is what you call better value. So keep in mind that being frugal is never about finding the cheapest products in the market. Instead, they find the best quality products for the least amount of money. If your lifestyle is one of less money, you shouldn't be picky about buying used products, not unless you have a good reason to. Of course, this doesn't mean you should blindly trust used product vendors and have your purchases fall apart a few days after you get them. We're not saying everything you own should be secondhand, but we are saying you should invest in secondhand products when it makes sense, from thrift shops, online used product stores, secondhand electronic gadgets, and the like. Just remember to go the extra mile and do background checks on the vendors you're buying from. Make sure you're not getting scammed. Once that's out of the way, a few used purchases here and there aren't bad. Tip 5. Spend on what's important to you. Another preconceived notion about frugal people is that they never splurge on the things they like or enjoy. This is not the case. Unless you're living an extreme frugality life, there's no reason for frugal people to hold back from treating themselves every now and then. We're all only human after all, and what's life without a little enjoyment? When you're contemplating splurging on something, just take your time to think about whether it makes you happy. Your splurging should always be centered around things that bring you joy. No point if it doesn't give you some sort of contentment, whether it be vacationing, wardrobe changes, video games, tech upgrades, or whatever else you enjoy. If you're short on cash and can't decide what's most important for your happiness, make a priority list. This way, you'll avoid wasting money on things that don't really matter as much to you, and you'll have all the more money to spend on what you love. And as the saying goes, less is more. The lesser you splurge, the more you'll know what purchase makes you happiest, and the more you'll enjoy it. Tip 6. Stock up when given the chance. When you're given an opportunity to stock up on a necessary product, don't miss out on it. For example, When basic necessities like toilet paper and hygiene-related products are on sale, don't miss your chance. Stock up on them. Same goes for perishable items like veggies, meat, and so forth. There's so many items you can easily stock up on. Also, take our word for this. The more you stock up, the more vigilant you'll be of your grocery store's sale patterns, and you'll be able to spot good deals from miles away. Knowing when to stock up on products will become second nature to you. Tip 7. Remember why you're saving up. Living frugally can very easily feel like a tedious chore. To make sure this doesn't happen, keep reminding yourself why you're living frugally. Why exactly do you need to save money? Do you want to retire early? Are you paying off debt? Whatever it is, make sure to keep it at the forefront of your mind and remind yourself of it when things get tough. To make this easier, write down what your objective for saving is and stick it up somewhere you'll see it regularly. Once you know why exactly you want to live frugally, it'll be a lot easier to do so and remain happy. Tip 8. Plan your meals. It's no secret that dining out is expensive, especially if you do it regularly or even semi-regularly. But what other option is there if you don't get enough time to make homemade meals every day? 2 words: meal planning. Instead of trying to come up with meal ideas right off the bat every day when you come home from work, try planning out your weekly meals in advance. This will save you both time and money. As tedious as it sounds, trust us when we say it's a lot easier than you think, especially with new meal planning apps like Prepare. Another way to accelerate your meal planning is by dedicating a big chunk of time to cooking, and then cooking in excess whenever you do. When you cook in bulk, it is usually more than possible to freeze the leftovers for later meal times, which ends up being super convenient when you're hungry, but also short on time. Tip 9. Make a budget. Yes, it's not necessary to have a budget to live frugally, but when you do have one, things automatically become a lot easier to manage. A budget doesn't have to be something that constantly stresses you out. It's simply a plan you make for your money so you can reach your goals in a more efficient, quicker way. But we're all no strangers to how confusing budgeting can be first. There's several different kinds of budgets, and making one that suits your needs perfectly is a bit of work if we're being honest. It's nothing that doesn't pay off though. Once you've set it up, maintaining your budget is a breeze. When you're starting off, something like a 5-step budget is simple and effective enough. But if you're finding it more difficult to keep yourself in check and can't stop overspending with your card, then you can look into the cash envelope system too. If these don't work out either, then the multiple bank account budget is a good option to try. All of the above make organization very simple, and trust us, they're worth a shot. Tip 10. Have feasible fun. You need to keep reminding yourself you do not need millions to be able to have fun. Money doesn't buy happiness. Well, not always, at least. You don't need to spend a fortune to be able to enjoy yourself. Spending quality time with your loved ones, engaging in outdoor activities, and the like are budget-friendly ways to enjoy yourself and feel content in your activities. A nice board game with your friends or a ball game in the park never hurt anyone, especially not your wallet. Tip 11. Do IT yourself. And one thing about frugal people is that they'll always do it themselves if they can, which is the best way to get more value for your dollar. Some products you can easily DIY are household cleaning products, plant-based remedies, and much more. That's a wrap for this video. Have you ever considered frugal living? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.